my gosh. Hi. Um, Welcome. We are here today on our last week of oh gosh, y'all. It's the last week of the boot camp. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little melancholy about it. Uh it went by kind of quick, but I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's been fun. I hope it hasn't been overwhelming. Um, Today is the first day of no new content from the perspective of Free Code Camp. We've covered everything. If you've done all the certification projects and quizzes and the final exam, you're done. Um, so gosh, it's uh it's gosh, how do I even say this? It sounds like a lot, and it might be overwhelming, and it might be, I see folks saying stuff like, how do I stay motivated? I just want to suggest that Jess, Etta, and I aren't the motivators here. It's y'all. So please keep going. Move on to other certifications, move on to other technologies. If there are little bits and bobs here that you thought were really interesting, go down that direction. Keep creating, keep ideating, keep. I mean, the community is all of you. Uh, you don't need us chatting at you from a webcam. Keep in touch, go on Discord, submit stuff for review, give reviews. But okay, sorry, I'm rambling because I get melancholy easily. Um, Before I get into what we're covering today, I just want to remind you, or rather, before I do our housekeeping today, I just want to remind you all that this is the mixed topics sessions. This is down to y'all. I'm going to ask you a favor. Please, if there's something you'd like to cover again, if there's any questions that you have from the content of the boot camp, please write it in the chat and we'll cover it. If there's any other questions outside of the boot camp, we can take a look. All of that. So, yes, I see questions already, which is great. I'm going to bookmark them and first say, if you're tuning in for the first time, hi, my name's Carmen. Myself, Jess, and Etta are running this bootcamp based on the responsive web design certification from Free Code Camp. If you're thinking, gosh, this looks great, but I missed all of it, what do I do? Don't worry, everything's on YouTube. I just updated the playlist. If you go to youtube.com/@badwebsiteclub, you'll find all of the recordings there. There is, to answer somebody's question, I think it was Baking and NC's question, there is the Free Code Camp Discord, but I want to touch on other options. Join that. Find the schedule at badwebsite.club/bootcamps/spring-2026. And by joining this bootcamp, you agree to abide by our code of conduct. If you go to badwebsite.club/code-of-conduct, you'll find everything there. If you see anything that's making you feel out of sorts, please let us know, and we will handle it. Okay, so, whoops, great question. I'll check it in a sec. All right, so, Baking and CS, what if you don't use Discord because you can't? So look, with Discord, we are in collaboration with Free Code Camp. We are providing a place for all of you to gather. That is one that we moderate. So if you can't use Discord, of course, you're not going to be able to join in the place that we moderate. But that doesn't mean that, for example, you can't organize a separate one. There's also the Free Code Camp forums that you can look up on search engines. Unfortunately, there's only really, I mean, remember, we're doing this in our own free time and vehemently for no money. So there's only so much resources we have. If y'all have ideas, I'd love to hear them, but I don't have all the answers, I'm afraid. Mel saying, in DevTools, I found an animations tab with a bunch of graphs. I don't really understand what they're showing. Could you walk us through some of the dev tools for inspecting animations? Sure. Now, I think for that, I'll need to go to freecodecamp.org. If I could spell that correctly. So, oh, I'm not logged in. Oh, wait, y'all can't see what I'm doing. Fantastic. I'm just going to log in. I feel like I'm cheating. So, give me a sec. I'm not sharing my screen yet. Just got to log into Free Code Camp. Make sure everything's good here. So, curriculum. Okay. How do I... Here we go. All right. Is that a Dance Dance on the Wall? Yes. My wife and I love Dance Dance Revolution. Okay, so we will start with animations tab. Oh yeah, because yesterday, I believe, yesterday and the day before, y'all did animations with Jess. No, that was last week. Okay, so there should be a workshop. Great. Okay, cool. So can I open this in a... Nope. Nope, bad idea. Okay, so here's our animation. Now, Mel, you're asking, in DevTools, I found an animation tab with a bunch of graphs, but I don't really understand what they're showing. Could you just walk us through some of the DevTools for inspecting animations? Of course. Full disclosure, I have rarely used this tab, so it is likely that I too shall have no idea. But I'm really good at figuring stuff out on the fly. So let's see. So first of all, I gotta find that tab, shouldn't I? So animations are not here. Security Lighthouse recorder. So I'm on Chrome today for many reasons. Mel, could you tell me where this animations tab is? Am I dreaming? You did say animation, right? In the DevTools, I found I'm on Firefox. Okay. Let me open Firefox then. I'm gonna have to reshare my screen. Bear with me, everybody. I think it's been a while since I've run Firefox, so I might need to update it and all this. Y'all can't see it at the moment because I am not sharing my Firefox screen. Okay. Can I present another screen? Nope. Hi. Build an animated Firefox. Is this good? Is it good? Yeah. All right. Oh no. What country am I in? I'm in Austria. I'm originally from Chile. That's why it is very warm here. That's why I look sweaty. Okay. I'm very sorry, everyone. My Firefox is in Spanish. Bear with me. Okay, you're in Firefox. That's great. Where are the animations? Animación. Oh, okay. I think I need to select the preview itself. Why isn't it letting me? I have to select. Right. That's what I'm trying to do, but it's not even showing up. Nothing's showing up. What's going on here? Where's all the HTML? Hang on. I don't like this. Inspect. There it is. Okay. I'll go ahead and select this. Here we go. Cool. So that's a whole bunch of stuff, isn't it? So remember that that each animation has a time. Hang on. Where's the code? Oh, this is going to be fun with so little screen real estate, huh? Okay. Transform, rotate. Oh, yeah, keyframes. Cool. Right. So where is the timing of the animation? Yes. Great. So over 10 seconds. So, all right, here we go, Mel. I have context, or as we say in Firefox, contexto. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so, right, our animation is called cabins. You know, it has those keyframes. It's 10 seconds, ease in and out, and it's infinite. Here, this graph shows you each animation. Whoa. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So hang on. Oh, wow. This is cool. Okay. So we can see the animation playing out, right? It's over a 10-second frame. What I believe is happening, now a lot of this is conjecture, is that we can see the completion. This graph is showing that it completes as it goes. And this is where it gets to the end. If we see here, as it rotates, it transforms. So we can say, okay, it's reaching this much percent of doneness with the animation, right? Wow, this is so cool. Check it out. So you can even like drag and drop to show like what happens if you're 50%, which is, 5 seconds of the way in. That's why it's filling up, right? So 50% of the way through the animation is going to look like this. This is so cool. Whoa. How's this not in? Whoa. Okay, yeah. And if you hover over it, there's a tooltip, you say? Tooltip for what? It's a linear animation. Hang on. So it's an animation. It lasts 10 seconds. It repeats infinitely, and it's a linear animation. I am? Oh, thank you, Sanak. They're called frame graphs. They're common in every kind of transition over time kind of effect in computer-aided animation / video. It's really difficult to explain in words. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Mel? Are different browsers more popular in Austria? I don't know. Maybe. A lot of people use Chrome. I think it's pretty general around the world. Okay. I'm glad it helps. So, what else have we got? Can we go over the dev tools again and check what the different tabs allow you to check or not check? Sure. I'm going to reshare again. Hi. I'm going to reshare again. Go back to Vivaldi, just for consistency's sake. Not Vivaldi, Chrome. Just for consistency's sake. So, I was here. Now, you want to go over the dev tools again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put them at the bottom. I prefer them docked at the bottom. I don't know. I find it nicer. Isn't it nice that you can customize all of this stuff as much as you want? Before we get into it, Daniel, you're asking, my question is about a bento card project I tried doing, got stuck with how to name things, target them in my external CSS for styling, and a few other things. I'm really sorry to be annoying. But one piece of it, I would love to push back on this question by asking, what is the question? Um, I got stuck doesn't really tell me much. I'm not trying to be difficult or condescending. I'm instead trying to encourage you, especially when we, as we go forward in our careers as software engineers, to make yourself as helpful as possible. Um, so why don't you, for example, tell me like, hey, on step XYZ, or was there steps or was this a lab? Regardless, at test number blah, I got stuck with naming what name am I supposed to use here, stuff like that. I hope that's helpful. Little drink of water, and then we'll go over the dev tools. All right. So first tab, elements. This will show you the entire DOM. This is for the DOM, not for the HTML. This is something really important to bear in mind. Remember that towards the beginning, we learned the difference between the DOM and the HTML. The DOM, the data object model, shows us things that go beyond, sorry. That go beyond, like pseudo elements and that sort of thing. So here's our DOM. We can click on this button at the top left to select an element in the DOM and inspect it. We can also use that to check its box model. Is that a flex box? Okay, so check it out. This element has a flex box. I'm like 90% sure. So this nav bar here is called tabs. Its class is tabs row. If I pull this up, I should be able to see the styles. And if I go to layout, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh, is it? Oh, I'm gonna faint. Where is it? Breadcrumb? Nav link. Actually, why am I looking in layout when I could look document? Did I say data? Sorry. Document object model. So tabs row, what are you? It's not a WebKit. It's a Flexbox. Cool. See, I saw that because I recognized this here. No going down rabbit hole, losing focus on dev tools. Sorry, got excited. So yeah, it lets you select this here, and you can click on that element and inspect down here its styles. This is in cascade order from most important to least important, the CSS for that element. Next, we have, in here, we can also, for testing purposes, write some extra styles that don't get saved. Remember, we're just messing around here. Background color. You all know what I'm going to choose. Lavender. See, now it's lavender. When we refresh, it will no longer be lavender. Under computed, we're going to see not only, your question is covering the screen. Let me go back. This is difficult to do. Yes, we can see here under element.style that I wrote in a background color. Excuse me. Under computed, we can see not only the box model, but also the final complete list of CSS properties that are being applied to this element. Everything from animation name to background origin to border bottom color. Didn't even know that was being applied. Look at that. Is it too big? Sure. If that's okay with y'all, that's okay with me. Where did my tab go? Oh, cool. All right. Right. Final computed CSS is here. All of it. all of it, even the variables. There's a lot of variables. Under layout, we can see what kind of grids are being utilized here. So look at that. There's a grid up here. We can highlight flex boxes. Look at that. There's some flex boxes up here. What else we got? Event listeners. This is getting into JavaScript territory. Would you look at that? So there is a cancel button here that does some stuff. Let's see what else we got. We've got an event that takes place when the DOM content has loaded. I want to be very, very mean and preface here. Don't worry about not understanding all of this right now. We haven't done JavaScript. Not covered in this bootcamp. These are all of the click events. So when you click on something, for example, when you click on the tab on the search bar, some stuff happens. In fact, yeah. What else do we got? DOM breakpoints. This is more JavaScript stuff. I'll give you the short version. Here we can manage pausing the JavaScript as it runs at a specific line of code. Once again, I'm not going to get into that today. Mel's asking, does hovering over an element also count as an event? I don't know. Let's have a look. I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's see. Is there a hover here? Mouse move. I think I could look this up on MDN. MDN mouse hover event. Let's have a look. So, yes. Hovering over an element will fire a mouse over event. Again, not going to get into that because that is beyond the scope of this bootcamp. Is there one here? Nope. All right, where were we? Breakpoints properties. What do we got here? This is the property I would assume, of this page. It's base URI, not URL. The URI here is the Universal Resource Identifier. I'm going to be honest, no idea what most of these are. We are currently connected to Free Code Camp, which I would assume is good. Owner document. Gosh. What is this stuff? I mean, why am I looking? When we start doing JavaScript and learning events, would we be able to use the event listeners in DevTools to explore what we can do? Or are there some other events for devs not to play with for browser only? So I don't think you'll be able to explore the list of events in the DevTools. You're going to need documentation for that. Fortunately for you, Element is one of the most events. I hope you like long lists because here we go. There's a lot of events. Properties, I'm guessing, yeah, I know it's okay to not know. I just want to try and infer what it is. Bear with me. Actually, why am I... Let's just look it up. What is the properties tab in Chrome DevTools? Oh, it's the property of the DOM object. Okay, yes, that makes more sense. You can click on any of them to see what children it has, the children DOM elements, its current CSS zoom, and a whole bunch of other stuff. First child. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, what else have we got? Accessibility. I've actually never used this. So how does this work? We can look here. Oh, Sinak is saying we got to bring web rings back, and I agree. We can see for each element what ARIA properties it has. And we can see the tree now. We can now see the DOM in a more accessibility focus. So we can see accessibility focused structure. It's quite cool, I have to say. This is the banner. This is the navigation. This is the main area. Button, a button. There's a button. Look, and they even have their labels, their ARIA label. I'm guessing ARIA labels? Nope, just their labels. Index HTML editor. This is cool. It lets you see, for example, what a screen reader would look at it like. But okay, that's enough of the Elements tab. Let's move on to the console. All right. So any kind of logging that happens in a website's, give me a sec. It is scorching warm. Any logging that happens in your website's JavaScript would show up in here. Just want to take a moment to see what Mel wrote. Are most websites not written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? So actually, all websites are written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as far as a browser is concerned. What every kind of static site generator, PHP app, Ruby on Rails app, Django app, what they do is generate HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for the browser to handle. But that's not entirely true. About 10 years ago, we got introduced to something called WebAssembly. WebAssembly is its own, you might have heard of assembly. It's the raw hardware language that a computer speaks. And a bunch of nerds had the idea to do that, but for the browser. What does that mean? It means that programs written in any programming language could compile to and run in the browser. You might have seen, I'm going to show my age here. You might have seen that it's possible to run all of Windows 95 in your browser. That's because of WebAssembly. So yes, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also WebAssembly. I used to work in WebAssembly. It was cool. Anyway, yes, back to the console. Can I write WebAssembly by hand? I guess I could, but I wouldn't want to. So anyway, sorry. Yes. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. Would it be like writing in binary? Yeah, it would be similar. Not binary, assembly instructions, which back in the day were written in binary. Sorry. Yeah. So yes, I think Baking and NC said you can run JavaScript in the console too. That is completely possible. So I'm just going to run random JavaScript here. Don't worry about not understanding. First, I'm going to define a variable called, gosh, I don't want to call it X. That's boring. A variable called box equals 1. Okay, so I've defined a variable called box and assigned to it the value of the number 1. Don't worry about understanding what's going on here. I'm just showing that JavaScript can be written here. So with console.log, I can print out the value of box. And it'll print out 1. This is what the console does. It just shows all kinds of JavaScript that's being logged to your browser. Point of warning here, though. If anybody ever tells you to copy paste stuff into your console, do not, and I repeat, do not just copy paste anything into your browser. You could be they could be giving you some malicious stuff. Got a question here. When designing a system where data is entered manually, let's say an inventory or records, is it better to go with forms or tables or both? Okay, so I'm going to make some assumptions on your question here. I'm going to assume you're talking about having a website that stores data to a database. So for HTML, most of your data entry is going to be done in forms, and they will get stored in a database, and most databases store stuff in tables. Not HTML tables, but their own kinds of tables. I hope that's helpful. Is console accessing the DevTools console as document is accessing the document object model? Console log, document, get element by ID. Yeah, so console is made up of a bunch of functions here. We can see, error, log, which is the function we used, and a whole bunch of other stuff that access this local instance of the JavaScript engine. Same goes for document. Document is our DOM. See? Let's keep going. There's so much stuff to cover here. Sources. This is, does console clear the console? Only one way to find out, right? Gone. Yes, it does. So back to our DevTools. This is every single external file that is accessible to our website or web application. For example, okay, let me make this a little bit smaller. I cannot. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Here is some JavaScript that's being used by FreeCodeCamp. Do not, I beg you, do not ask me what it does. It can be very high level. I didn't mean to go in depth. Well, I want to go in depth unless you have questions. Can we download and add new custom tools to DevTools? Yes, by way of browser extensions. Here is some more JavaScript. Here's the content of step 29. Some CSS. So this is external CSS. What else have we got here? Some fonts. Some more JavaScript. Some of my own stuff, my password manager, FreeCodeCamp itself, Stripe so that we can donate money to FreeCodeCamp. Some other stuff. We can kind of see what some of what the JavaScript does. For example, the range looks like it might confine a value to a range. I think it takes any list and cuts it off to be within a range. So kind of, but that's getting into JavaScript. Let's keep going, huh? Network. This one's fun. Here we can see I'm going to refresh the page. Every single network connection that our website makes at any point. Because remember, a website doesn't just load stuff once, like at the beginning, but clicking on a button might make an internet connection via what's called an HTTP request or a socket. This is well beyond what we usually do at this boot camp, but let's bear with me. What do we got here? We're loading the content of step 29 here at the very beginning. We can see it went well. What are sockets? Think of sockets as an HTTP request is a one-time, hey, can I get some data? Thank you for the data. I'm out. Whereas a socket is we are permanently, actually, you watching this YouTube video or Twitch is a socket connection. Your browser is like, All right, gimme stuff. And Twitch or YouTube is constantly feeding you video and audio data. I'm connected to a socket as I give through my computer, give StreamYard video and audio data. I'm so sorry to go into advanced computer science stuff. Y'all asked for it. Okay, cool. So we have made an HTTP request to get step 29 via a GET. Remember the form methods? We made a GET request, and the answer, the status code, the response gave us a 200 OK. That means, here you go. You have successfully received. The FreeCodeCamp server is saying, you have successfully requested and received your step 29 data. What else we got? Speculation. I don't even know what this is. There's some speculation being done by FreeCodeCamp. Sinak is asking, can we explain sockets as a unique file created upon request for you to read until the connection is terminated? Yeah, I might even say that that's probably how Linux and Unix systems does it. Is it a bit like when you ring a number on the telephone, the line stays connected until you hang up? That is precisely right. That's actually a really good analogy. Yes, exactly. File in the Unix sense. I think I've never done it. I think like you said it as I typed. Yeah, there's a lag in our socket. Okay. What else? We're requesting some JavaScript. We got it. We can also see how long it takes for these connections to go. So from about 2 seconds in to 4 seconds in, we loaded this stuff. We can see what kinds of stuff we loaded. Some raw data in the form of HTML, some CSS. No, we didn't load any CSS. We didn't load any CSS. Bunch of JavaScript. Is each line a new socket? No, sorry. There's two types of web connections. One is an HTTP request. The other one's a socket. Don't get too hung up on the socket thing. Most connections you're going to make are HTTP requests. That's a one-time, yo, give me this font. Here you go. So each line is a new connection, which can be either HTTP or socket. I'm sorry, I am confusing you all. So here, we can see we loaded a bunch of fonts. No images. Look at that. Any media? Nope. Manifests. There you go. Ah, there it is. Socket. No WebAssembly. Yep. WASM equals WebAssembly. And a bunch of other stuff. Cool. Kind of like text. A small amount of data, then it closes. Yep. Performance. Ooh, didn't know we had this here. So my computer, okay. So my computer took about 2.45 seconds to render all of the FreeCodeCamp page. Chrome says, yeah, this is pretty good. Let's try some other stuff. What does it say about Google Chrome, for example? Inspect. Performance. Where's performance? There you are. All right, that's a flex, I guess. 1.26 seconds. Let's see let's see the Bad Website Club. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. Please be good. 0.22 seconds. Why am I so scrolling to see the rest of the metrics? Web devs and their skewed understanding of how fast computers should be. Okay, yes. Let's see what else we got. May I please? Can we get rid of that little tooltip there? Thank you. Cumulative layout shift. Doesn't move much. Cool. Field metrics. I'm not going to go too much into that. Memory. Oh, here you can see how much RAM, like how much resources of temporary storage are being used by this application. 4 megabytes, not too bad. That's how much JavaScript is using. Pretty cool. Did not know about this. Sometimes if you find that some websites are making your computer too slow, have a look at this one. Application should show us which temporary data, no, not temporary. Oh, wait, what does the little brush icon do? Hold on. Where is it? What brush icon? Here? Garbage collection. I have no idea what garbage was collected, but I'm glad it was. Sorry, application. We can see here what local storage is being stored. This is more JavaScript related. Cookies, you can take a look at your cookies here. I probably shouldn't show you these because it's probably a security hazard to show you my cookies. But yeah, whenever you get asked if website can store cookies, there it goes. This website is secure, uses HTTPS. This is more to do with server stuff. And finally, Lighthouse. Lighthouse is a term Lighthouse is a tool, I meant to say, that is provided by Google to help us analyze how fast our website is. And also check things like accessibility, best practices, and search engine optimization. Free Code Camp, get ready. Yeah, we talked about it for accessibility. Yeah, we've done this before. I still want to do it. In the meantime, I think that might cover that this whole question on the dev tool. So if you have any others, now's the time. Okay, the performance might be bad, but that's only because my computer is being used to stream right now, so it might be slowing things down. But look at that. That's some great accessibility. So the website took a while to load, but again, I think it has more to do with my computer. And it gives you some insights. For example, there's some old school JavaScript in here, which they recommend not doing. Improve your caching. Use font display to... Does it say what best practices fail? Let's have a look. Yes, it should. Uses third-party cookies. Stripe, the payment provider is using cookies. Detected JavaScript libraries. It uses Gatsby, which is a static site generator. What else? Prevents users from pasting into input fields. Gosh, that's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. And some other best practices that they recommend doing. Do all browsers have pretty much the same tools? I find Safari doesn't have that much. I moved to Vivaldi for coding type stuff. I don't know about Safari because I've never used it all that much. Same goes for Edge. I've used a lot of Firefox. It uses very similar things. And there are browser extensions you can use to provide this sort of thing. What else we got? Oh, I think that covers everything. There's also settings. You want to put your DevTools in dark mode? Feel free. Why is using third-party cookies a bad practice? Okay, this goes a little bit more into data privacy and stuff. So it's warning us about it because Stripe is tracking stuff about us. Think of it this way. I go to freecodecamp.org. I expect my data, my cookies to be about Free Code Camp, right? But Stripe, so Free Code Camp it looks like Free Code Camp is using Stripe. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. For the payment provision for providing the ability to donate. Stripe has their own cookies. Stripe tracks like, I don't know, like I've never used Stripe. I'm not sure what Stripe might track. But yeah, so Stripe has its own cookies. So it's not bad per se. It's a heads up, right? It's saying like, hey, FYI, people are also getting their stuff tracked by Stripe. All right. Okay. This is stuff. I'm going to skip right past the AI thing. Some experimental settings. Oh, cool. You can have, remember the other day when I showed you like how to emulate other sizes? You can add your own custom devices. That's cool. Throttling. Oh, this is cool. This allow. So I think on the network tab, you can simulate. You can disable the cache, which is pretty cool. But I think, can you see? Yes. Look, you can throttle the connection. So let's show folks what it's like to load this website in 3G connection. Reload. Oh, this is cool. Look at how much slower it is. Look, remember FreeCodeCamp took like 4 seconds to load or something? Now we're oh, hold up. Still loading. Are we done? Nope, not yet. Right. Now it took about 20 seconds to load on a 3G connection. This is really good for testing what other people around the world on different mobile connections might experience. Cool. What else we got? No, hang on. Somebody had a cool question. Mel, if a website takes your cookies, does that mean they have to abide by data protection laws in the countries that can access the website and get fined if your cookies are leaked through you? I'll preface this by saying I am not a lawyer. However, here in Europe, here in Europe, I know that if I can access a website, I know that it should abide by what's called the GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation of Europe. I think California has something similar. Legal stuff is not my forte. If you're providing a service, maybe talk to a lawyer. How does disable cache affect the site? Great question. Okay, first we will load the website. No. Carmen, please. Okay, the website takes about, whoop, you still loading? You good? 9 seconds? Is that everything? Okay. Most browsers cache things, right? For example, they'll store the font, the CSS file, the stuff that doesn't change that often, so that the next time I go to load the website, check it out. Instead of loading in about 9 seconds, it's going to load. Come on. In about 7 seconds. Doesn't sound like, hey, what? Okay, I'm going to use a different website because I don't know what kind of stuff is getting cached here. Let's go with Google's resources. Let's load again. So without the cache, Google's website takes about, we good? About 8 seconds to load. If I disable the cache now and I reload, it's going to re-download from scratch all of the fonts, all of the CSS, all of the images, all of the things that need to get cached. So it should take longer. See? Now it's taking longer. Because I'm saying, hey, reload everything from scratch. Oh. Okay. I think that covers the dev tools. Danielle, did you still want to ask me about the Bento card project? If not, somebody suggested taking the question to FreeCodeCamp. Definitely do that. Yeah. Mel saying, I've had ChatGPT tell me to turn off cache to see what changes, to see changes when I update my site. Cool. Sorry, I don't. Do be careful with ChatGPT and that sort of tool because it can very confidently give incorrect answers. I will play with the dev tools. That's great. No, the dev tools are super fun, and I'm sure you're going to find stuff that I have never tried. Hey, this has been great, people. I don't think we have any. I don't have any other pending questions. So, shall I let you go? I'll go a little earlier. If a question pops up, I'll take care of it. But don't worry. There's still like 3 more days of this stuff. So, bring more questions, bring more curiosities. If not, we'll prepare some stuff to show you. Yeah, I'll be back on Thursday and Friday. And yeah, I guess that's everything for today. But this was fun. Thank you. And yeah, bring more questions. And if you get stuck on anything from the bootcamp, we can cover that too. But until then, let's have a chill rest of the day, huh? Wish you all the best. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.